Good morning. Denise Dryden here out on Bainbridge Island. And I was wondering, today is, what if you could sit down with a piece of paper or a tool and you could feel validated, you could feel seen, you could get sort of one of those ahas, you could feel better, or you could have some direction on where you're going. That's what I want to talk about today. What kind of value would that be to you? And so the topic is divination tools. It's time to deepen our divination tools. And I think it's kind of interesting because I've been asked to read tarot. I've been a coach. I've been building a solid coaching practice. I've got my certifications. I've got my tools. I've got my skills. I've got all of these strategies that are really strong in a targeted audience. And I've been doing really well supporting myself with that. And on the side, I'm a tarot reader, right? I've been playing with tarot forever. And all of a sudden, everybody who calls, everyone who talks to me wants my tarot reading skills. And I think this is an interesting time. So the idea that tarot is a divination tool and that it provides information, it's some of the best work I've done in over a decade. And I'm loving the kind of clients. And so I'm even reading at the farmer's market, which is really fun and very outside my comfort zone, right? After spending years on Zoom doing national and international coaching. So I'm right smack in front of someone, in under a tent reading cards. It's sort of an interesting new change. So a divination tool is runes, it's oracle cards, it's tarot, it's anything that you can sort of pull and that has a number, a picture, a symbol, something that sort of catches your eye and brings you into what you're looking for, right? Okay, so a divination tool, and I've got this little definition right here. I found several. It's the practice of seeking knowledge through supernatural means. It's determining the hidden significance or cause of events by various natural, psychological, and other techniques. So it can be psychological. It can trigger something within us. And it is to be inspired by God. It's an attempt to gain insight into a question or a situation by the way of occult, by the way of a standardized process or a ritual. So the beauty of using a divination tool is it gets you out of your circular thinking, which is, I know how to solve this problem. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And I'm going to do this. And when you put something in that gives you another alternative, you're like, outside my thinking realm, what am I going to do with that? So it presents new ideas. It presents new perspectives. And so, on the minimal perspective, it can spark a new approach. It can tell you when something's up, something that wants to open, something that's there. And on a broader perspective, and I brought this handout here, is that, we're a human energy system, right? And I've used this before, this graphic. And this energy system is so much bigger than we are. And it's run through our chakras, it's run through our meridians, it's run through, and we have this field around us, right? So whatever is in the field affects our physical body. So when we are using a divination tool and we're putting this field into play, everything that comes into that field interacts with us and has valuable information. So using a divination tool means, I've got this whole multidimensional perspective of myself and I'm asking for guidance. So put something in here that can help me, right? And so the premise that I work with when I'm working with tarot cards, and I've got my favorite little Osho Zen deck, and I've also worked with the Crowley deck in the last 2 to 3 years. But this is my go-to deck, especially when I'm working with people who haven't worked with tarot before, and it talks to me. But the premise is that the cards don't lie. The cards are there. The cards have lined up with something in our system, right? And so the approach is, if they don't lie, what do I have to do to learn, to align, to acknowledge, to sort of move within what's going on, right? How am I going to do this? So whether it's words or symbols or images, what it does is it provides access to something that's blocked or silenced or unconscious or buried, right? And so, basically the premise is to ask for something, to ask for clarity, to set an intention. I need to know. I'm wondering. I want some clarity on. And then to look for the answer and seek clarification in what comes up, right? So, it is the ultimate problem-solving tool. It is riddles. It is a challenge. And you can sort of lean in and you can get curious and you can start to work on it. Like, why is that card there in that spot? What the heck is that about? And you can also push it away. You can go through full-on denial, like, no, I can't feel it, doesn't work. You can say it's out of resonance. You can even flat out refuse. But the bottom line is that if the cards are there interacting with your human system, your human energy system, how do you own it? How do you play with it? How do you choose to lean in and go, so I'm feeling a lot of resistance. I'm feeling a lot of pushback. I'm scared. It's a cult. It's this. It's that. And what if it isn't? What if it's just another way to see life, right? So part of what I do is I go through tips in this. But before we do that, I wanted to show you some of the tools that I use. So, and keep in mind that we are on Facebook Live for the recording, so everything comes backwards, right? So this is medicine cards. This particular book, or set of cards, Jamie Sands and David Carson. I've used this book for 17 years. So I will pick an animal, any card, sort of spread them out. I've got all of these different ones. There's owls. There's, you can see what they look like. Otter. What do we have here? Frog. And so I'll pull one and I'll sit down and go, why is that up right now? And then I'll go into the book. And what I love about the book is that there's two parts to it. Here's owl, the owl card we just looked at. Here's the information. And then on the other side is what happens when it's contrary, what happens when it's upside down. And there's always a message there. And so every morning I would pull this, and then sometimes I would see these animals sort of show up in front of me throughout the day. And I thought, there's no way all of this is happening at once, right? So this is where I started, was with animal cards. The one that I absolutely adore and try to put all of the teens and families that are starting with Divination Tools is The Wild Unknown Animal Spirit by Kim Krantz. And the thing that I prefer the most about this is that it's short. It doesn't require a lot of reading. So here's her little guidebook. And let's say you pull the rabbit, right? Here's the picture of the card. There's this nice little set of words, that, afraid of everything, overwhelmed, can be frozen, right? And then there's this descriptor of what the animal is. And then what I like over here is that it says, when you're in balance, what it looks like is that you're a really good problem solver, you're sensitive, and you're a really good listener, right? But when you're out of balance, and then here's the second line, it would be really nice if I had my glasses on here. You over-explain and you talk too fast, and there's a nervousness underneath the surface. So the last part is why the reason I do these cards is to bring into balance is a day of silence. Go within. And so whenever I pull something here and I find out what they recommend, I do it. I've learned to get out of my own way and go do it, right? Do it. Get in there and do it, because it makes sense to go, well, what if it might be right? What if a day of silence helps? Now there's tarot, which is an intricate series of 4 suits and a major arcana. There are also these, and this is the other Thoth deck that I work with. There are also these phenomenal oracle cards. And an oracle card, oops, upside down, that's even better. An oracle, this is the Starseed Oracle. This is the Ascended Masters. These are just the ones that talk to me. This is Rumi, which whenever I just really need something deep, I've done yoga for 2 hours and I want something to just get into something really juicy, I go to Rumi. Or when I'm feeling a little vim and vigor and I'm like pissed about something, I will go to the Sacred Rebels and I'll find out what is it that's going on. And each of these descriptors are 1 or 2 pages. They give me some food for thought. So an oracle card is something that's just a piece of information. Same with those little angel cards where you just pull up and there's one word. There's just one word. So knowing that these are all vehicles, they don't have any power in and of themselves. They're just vehicles for us to get to access ourselves. So I'm going to give you some tips on how to work with divination tools and get started. So the first thing is to start easy. Do one card. Do one card at a time. We just did the rabbit, right? Just do one card and put it out there. Put it on your desk. Put it on the counter. Put it next to the bathroom when you're getting ready in the morning. Take a picture of it. Carry it around on your phone throughout the day. Let it talk to you. That's the most important part, is let it talk to you, okay? Number 2, notice your own internal reaction. Like if I'm afraid or I'm resistant, why? What's going on? If I'm in joy or playfulness, oh, I love that card. Why? There are often these multi-dimensional levels of reactions, which is, I like it, I don't like it. I don't know why it's there. What if I'm being fooled? Like all of these things that are going on. And remember, it's not good or bad or right or wrong. It's just that they simply are there to provide some fuel, something for you to consider. Number 3, read up on it. Read the books that come with it. Read on the, you can even go online and through your search engines, find out what other people are saying, what other words are coming out. Because for me, what I notice is that I can look at the same page over and over and pull the same card, and at different times, the words will rise out. Like sometimes this paragraph means everything to me. I can pull this card 2 days later, and right in here, there's one line that talks to me, and I go, oh, shoot, I didn't even see that. How did I miss that from last time? So let the words, let the meanings talk to you. So read up on it and sort of play with the descriptors so that you're not in your head going, I know what a rabbit is. Go find out why rabbit's there. Number 4, make it yours. Put your own stories into it. Attach your feelings, because the more you work with these cards, the more that they sort of attach to you. So when you pull it up again, you're like, oh, I always get this card when I'm feeling overwhelmed. This is a pattern. I pulled a rabbit when I'm overwhelmed. I get it now. So I'm embodying some sort of internal frenzied energy, right? Number 5, use different tools and cards until you find one that talks to you. Don't go like Denise said, get animal medicine cards or, get the wild unknown spirit. You can start with those, but move around. I think I had a really good friend teach me tarot 10 years ago, and she probably dropped 22 decks in front of me, and all of a sudden it was like the Osho just started talking, and I thought, well, evidently this and Osho, Zen, Tarot, and I are connected, so it works. So play with different ones until you respond to it. Number 6, resist the temptation to walk away. If you don't like it, why? If you keep getting the same one over and over again, why? Tap, 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 tap. It's on your shoulder. It's not going to go away. If it doesn't get in, if you're blocking it, why? These are the things, these are the ways we get out of our push on the external world, our desire to control it, our interactions with others, and we start to do ownership on this energy system needs to give me information. How do I find it? So deepening our divination tools is going to be the greatest set of tools that we could use, the skill sets, tools, approaches that we can use as this COVID expands, as we go into the fall, as we start to see more and more unraveling. We need to know what we feel. We need to know what we feel. And we need to play. So lighten up, play with some tools that make sense to you, and have fun with it. And I'm available if you ever have any questions. You can find me on DeniseDrydenCoaching.com, and have a great Sunday. See you next week. Bye-bye.